Hello everyone. The GNU Linux users group NIT Durgapur is glad to present our second speaker for the Dev Talks. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Jason Brink, the president of blockchain for Gala Games, as well as a well-known figure in the cryptocurrency community who has been an integral part of many discussions focused on the use of blockchain to disrupt various entrenched ecosystems. He has also been awarded the Global Development Network Prize for the creation of a novel blockchain based solution, the $8, to solve the problems endemic to foreign aid. Hello, Jason. Could you please tell us about yourself?
Sure, sure. For starters, hello to everybody, and thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here to talk to you all today. It's been some time since I've been able to make it to India, but hopefully next time I have the ability to travel, I can swing by. So anyway, I'd just like to introduce you to myself. A lot of people call me Bitbender in the blockchain space, but you can call me Jason if you'd like. And I've been working in this space for many years now. As Srijan mentioned, I originally entered the space in sort of a little bit of an economic disruption style economic bent to everything that I was working on. I spent some time doing disaster relief in Haiti and realized exactly how terrible the international aid situation was, and I wanted to come up with a way to fix that, and that was where AidDollar came in. However, as time went on, I realized that uh, while blockchain has the ability to disrupt finance and sort of traditional means of money transmission, I think that the thing that will make the biggest difference in the longest amount of time, or for the longest time, will be the ways that we can work to use blockchain to change gaming. Right now, in the normal gaming space, we play games, we spend money on games, we spend money on items in games, and they're no longer, we don't own them. It's just kind of throwing money into a pit, right? And so what we at Gala Games wanted to do was we wanted to give actual ownership of in-game items to the players. This has several benefits. The first thing that it does is it makes it so that you actually own the stuff that you buy. So when you spend money on a game, you have a way to potentially recover that at some point in time in the future, whether it's through selling an item, trading it, giving it to a friend, whatever. It's your item. We can't take it away from you. The second thing that this does is it creates the opportunity for play to earn ecosystems to be created. And one of the things that I found in all of the economic development and disaster relief work that I did is that it is the smallest amount of money that can sometimes make the biggest difference. If you have a decent salary, making a few dollars a day playing a video game isn't going to be a super compelling argument. But if your family is hungry, being able to make a few dollars a day to buy food can fundamentally change your life at a very, very foundational level. And so this is what we set out to do. And this is why we work so hard to create play to earn ecosystems where people can join up, play a game, earn something, use that to buy NFTs if they would like, or to take that out and, sell it into the market and, do something with the fiat. This is everything that we have been focusing on right now. Right now, we have several games that are live on the platform. We have Townstar, which is sort of a farming simulator. It was created by Michael McCarthy, who is the same guy who created Farmville 2, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. We have Mirandus, which is currently being worked on by Michael as well, now that somebody else has taken over Townstar, which is an MMORPG. We have Spider Tanks, which is produced by a company called Game Media, and it's a MOBA brawler that is tremendously fun to play and that I'm very, very bad at. And we have a whole bunch of different things coming to the ecosystem. And I'm very, very happy and very, very proud to have contributed to this and to help it get to where it is. And I am absolutely delighted to continue this in the future. And I think that working with organizations like yours is going to be something that is very important in the long-term future of our organization and gaming. So with that, I don't want to stand here and talk the entire time. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have about Gala, about me, about what we're doing, or just about blockchain in general. So there you go.
A really great idea put into play. So, and we are really glad to have you here with us. So, to begin with, I'd like to ask, like, so right now, Gala is based on an Ethereum blockchain, right? But it
Correct.
seems that Gala is developing its own chain, the Gala chain,
Yes.
right? So,
Correct.
yeah. So, why do you feel the need to move away from the Ethereum chain? Like, is it only because of the gas fees, or is there any some other
No, no.
reason?
It's. I mean, the gas fees are obviously very. They are a large part of it because they introduce so much friction, and it's really miserable to have a play to earn ecosystem where spend a day earning 20, 50, $100 worth of tokens, and then you have to turn around and spend 80 or $90 worth of Ethereum to get those. That's a terrible experience. So obviously that is, I won't say that's not part of it, but it's not the main thing. The main problem is that there are no blockchains out there, Ethereum included, that are specifically designed to handle the needs of games. Everything out there has been designed kind of with a fintech mentality to it. And so when you focus on fintech and you're not focused on gaming, you will make different chain decisions than you will make if you're only focusing on gaming. And so that's what Gala Chain is it's essentially the world's first blockchain that's specifically been designed to handle what game developers need as determined by game development experts who have been in the industry for their entire lives.
That's a really great insight, sir. So, and I would also like to ask, like, it seems that Gala wants to achieve decentralization via nodes, right?
Correct.
So, what factors like node density in a particular region affect the gaming experience of people there?
Right now, so the nodes, it depends on which version of the software you're using. So there's the initial first proof of concept version, which is essentially a heartbeat service. It doesn't actually do a tremendous amount other than give you the ability to make a governance vote. However, the next version is going to, and some people are running this already. It's IPFS enabled, and so it essentially supports all of the content across our entire network. So all of the game downloads, all of the NFT images, all of that gets supported by the node ecosystem. And so essentially, the closer you are to a node, the easier it is for you to get access to the files that you need. And obviously, we at this current time support this with CDN as well. But in the long term, I'd like to see full decentralization. And at the end of the day, what I would like to see is that games have a life cycle, right? Companies will spin up a game, they will run that game for a certain period of time until it no longer is financially it no longer makes financial sense, and then oftentimes they'll sunset those games. We've all seen this happen to games that we loved, right? And it's miserable. So what we want to do is we want to configure it so that the node network itself can take over the operation of the live services, so that the game developer, if they don't want to run it anymore, they can kind of hand the keys over to the node network and let the node network run and maintain that.
Thank you, Jason, for that. Like, currently coming to this, like, there are a huge number of people who do not understand blockchain. Like, for
Yes.
example, like for us people, like we sometimes think it intimidating, like venturing into this vast world of blockchain.
Yes.
So, for more people to come into blockchain gaming, we obviously need to make it invisible to the end users. So, how is Gala
Correct.
looking to achieve that?
We're doing this in a lot of different ways. I mean, the way that we look at it is like IPFS, or not IPFS. I'm sorry. What the hell am I thinking of? Anyway, when you originally played online games, okay, back in when I was younger, I guess I'm probably a bit older than all of you, but back when I was younger and we would have LAN parties, we would take our computers together, set them up in somebody's garage, and we'd have to spend all this time fiddling around with all of the different network settings and connections in order to get that to work, and then we would be able to have an online play session. And to be honest, it took twice the amount of time that we would spend playing just to get everything set up and in location. And now, if you want to play an online game, you just go ahead and you click connect, and you are connected, and you're waiting in the lobby to play. We believe that the same basic trajectory needs to take place with blockchain. So all of this, difficult high barrier of entry stuff needs to be worked through from sort of a user experience and a user interface perspective, so that it becomes much, much easier. We have a team of people right now who are dedicated specifically to making this work.
So it's basically like implementing the blockchain technology, but not having the users worry about it, right? Like it's kind of keeping
Correct.
it abstract.
Correct.
Yeah. So we have all have heard about NFTs, and they have
Mhm.
become quite popular in a very short time, right? And many of them are being sold for millions of dollars.
Yep.
But the current NFT momentum could well be slowing. Like OpenSea's daily volumes have declined from the August peak, and some on-chain data also indicates a drop in the prices after much sought after CryptoPunks. So, do you think there is an NFT correction looming?
An NFT correction, yes, I think that there is. And the reason for that is because right now, and this is very similar to the 2016, 2017 ICO craze, where you have a tremendous number of people who are YOLOing tons and tons of money into every single project. Most of them are crappy white papers that don't actually have any development firepower behind them, and they're quote unquote investing in these things, and there really isn't any. There's nothing behind it. I think that with a lot of NFTs, okay, you have a similar problem where you have, specifically with a lot of these generative art pieces. Like, I have how many insert adjective, insert animal, you know, uh, combinations can you possibly have? I mean, Bored Ape Yacht Club, cool, that's great. And then there's like 800 other ones that people have bought into that don't really have any functionality. They're just more art that just gets churned out. And they're not even particularly good art. Do you know what I mean? I think that for a lot of those types of things, there is going to be a correction. I don't necessarily think that that means that NFTs with true utility are themselves going to have a correction. I think it's going to be, similar to what you saw in the 2017, 2018 correction, where, the prices of some things will go down and people will keep building. Okay, the people who are serious about what they're building will continue building, and later when everyone comes out of it, they'll realize, oh, okay, well, this one has been here this entire time and it will continue. I think punks are a great example of something that, it's more of a cultural phenomenon than anything else. It may have a bit of a correction too, but I don't think that you're going to see, I mean, there are so many of these PFP projects that are just, there's nothing there. It's just art. And that's fine if you look at it as art, but people look at it as like I'm going to get in on this drop and it's going to make me insanely rich. And I think that's probably going to slow down a bit.
That was really an insightful answer. And a question has come up in the chat. Shivam Singhal wants to ask, a blockchain-based gaming industry is a very new concept. So how is a game built using blockchain different from other games, like from the perspective of design and utility?
Sure. Okay. The first thing that I would like to do is that I would like to put a differentiation point between us and the rest of the industry in the ground. We are a gaming company that uses blockchain as an integral part of our tech stack. We are not a blockchain game company, because in a blockchain game company, the blockchain comes first, the game comes second. And if you're a game company and gaming comes second, you're making crappy games, and you probably shouldn't. If you're making really, really awesome games and you're finding ways to use blockchain to support those and make the experience even more awesome, then that's the direction that we would like to go. That's what we work on. So we work on bringing people from the gaming industry. You know, we have AAA game developers working with us, and you know, studios from around the world working with us to bring their games onto our platform. And so, from a game design perspective, the biggest thing that changes is that you really have to think about your economy, your in-game economy, with a lot more detail and a lot more rigor than you would if you were just making a, you know, a game. So, for example, if you want to play something like, you know, Battlefield, okay, BFV. You're playing BFV. I love playing, um, and you get company coin. You know, you earn company coin and you buy skins. Okay, now as a loop, this is very, very basic, and it provides a degree of income for you know, the company that manufactures it. But the challenge here is that if you were to make that blockchain based, suddenly you only have a limited number of skins and you only have a limited number of company coin. You can't just continue making more. And so you really have to think about these things, and you have to gently tune as you go through the development to make sure that you don't ruin your economy.
Thank you for the answer. And he also wants to ask that how can someone on sole interest like start developing with blockchain and enter the blockchain space? Because many undergrads like today have a basic background of blockchain but don't even know where to start. Like, so could you
Right.
please give
It's
an
it's
insight?
it's sure. It's a challenging thing. I mean, I'm going to give you, I guess this is kind of my version of the way that I see the blockchain space in general. If you are interested in joining and getting involved in the blockchain space, get involved in communities. Okay. Um, what you're not going to find is that you're not going to find that being a solo developer is going to work very well for you. So go out, find a group of people that are working on something, and add your effort to it. Okay. There are lots and lots of blockchain games out there that, you know, if you are an undergrad, you have the ability to code, you've got somebody who can help do graphics, you could get 5 or 6 people together and you could make a pretty cool blockchain game pretty easily. It won't be a game. It's not going to be, you know, an amazing gaming experience, but it's a, you know, like a little 3v3 battler with, you know, 2D you know, avatars or something like that. You could easily stand something like that up and experiment with it. You know, get a group of people together, build something, try it out. And you know, this is how this industry moves forward. Everyone that I know that has achieved any level of success in this space has done so because they look for opportunities and then they just do it. Even if you don't know what you're doing, muddle through it and try to figure it out. I promise it will be worth it.
Yeah, so it's basically like you have to be active and like be in touch with other developers so that you can like
Yes.
exchange knowledge and like build some
Yep.
stuff together. Yeah, right.
Yep.
And so another question has come up. Smith Doe wants to ask that how are Gala coins compared to in terms of functionality and privacy, other like in terms like with other decentralized famous blockchain systems like Ethereum or Bitcoin?
Well, Gala right now it's an ERC 20. So it's based on Ethereum at this point in time. So it's exactly the same. You can very easily track things, across the blockchain. Um, Gala Chain is going to be a little bit different from that because it's based on some different technology, which I don't really want to go into right now. But it's in the long run, we're designing something that is specific to gaming, and our focus is not necessarily on privacy. Or, I mean, we're not trying to build Monero here. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make something that works well for games. So it's privacy. And in fact, if you go back and you look at the original Bitcoin white paper, you will find that anonymity in that Bitcoin white paper is only mentioned in the context of you can have somebody that you don't know approve a transaction. This concept of anonymity and the sort of the crypto nature of cryptocurrency, I feel is a very, very bad branding decision, and kind of shouldn't really be the focus, if that makes sense.
That was really insightful, sir. And another question has come up, like, how do you balance the game economy when user created content exists in the same market as well as the publisher content?
It's not easy. You really have to work very hard to make sure that you have your sinks in place. That's one of the critical things, is that if you put something into the economy, there has to be a way for that thing to come out of the economy, or be consumed. A lot of problems with games, and we're beginning to see this. Excuse me. It's very early in the morning here still. We're beginning to see this with some of the other prominent blockchain games out there. They have runaway economies with runaway of inflation because they have not yet developed a way for that currency to be sunk. Now, if you're having user generated content, that can be cool. That can definitely be cool, but you have to have a way for people to, when they receive the currency that is used to purchase this user generated content, there's a way for that also to be absorbed and sunk into the ecosystem so that you don't end up with this runaway problem for various different projects to survive if you happen to like that type of play style. The thing that differentiates us is that we approach it from the perspective of gaming. Nobody creating blockchain based games out there does so with the same level of dedication to the sort of gaming ethos. I mean, our founder, Eric Schiermeier, our CEO, is one of the co-founders of Zynga. Our president of games is the former head of product from EA. We have a very solid grouping of people who are dedicated to creating AAA amazing gaming experiences for people, and that's what our main focus is on.
Yeah, so basically at Gala Games, the gaming experience comes to the first priority rather than we're
Correct.
just implementing the blockchain technology behind.
Right.
Yeah, so another question, a big challenge for blockchain is its limited interoperability, right? So the problem is that with so many different networks, the blockchain space is in a state of disarray, due to lack of universal standards that would allow different
Correct.
networks. Yeah, so to communicate with each other. So how do you think this challenge can be solved?
Well, ultimately, excuse me, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to communities to choose sort of where things go. I mean, for us, we recognize that we have our own way of looking at things. We've got our own internal thing that we're setting up with Gala Chain, but we work very closely with a number of L2 and rollup and base layer protocols, because we feel that all of these groups have communities, and that what we should do is create a means for them all to work together to achieve something via our network. So If you have something on Gala Chain, we're in the process of setting up bridges that will allow you to take it out to polygons, take it out to BSC, to take it out to, you know, excuse me, near whatever it is that you want. You should be able to take it out. And ultimately, this is going to be what it is, because there is no single blockchain that is going to quote unquote rule the world. It's not going to be a thing, nor should it. I mean, that's, this ethos of decentralization is important to all of us. And so I think that what you'll see is that you'll see a bunch of different solutions like this standing up, and then people building other entities in the middle to help create the bridges necessary.
Yeah, so like basically decentralization is like here to stay and kind of forms the key.
Yes.
Yeah, so and now a generic one, like where do you see blockchain 10 years from now, and like how will blockchain improve the standards of living across the world, like in any field or entity? Like,
Sure. I think that in 10 years, blockchain itself will be almost invisible. This is my hope. I think that in order to bring people on board, blockchain needs to be in a space where anyone can use it without realizing that they're using it and benefit from it. I think that that's the direction that we're working towards, and that's the direction that a lot of others are going to be working towards as well. So that's what I would like to see. I think that people around the world are going to benefit from it in a variety of ways. I think that there's going to be benefits in terms of your ability to access and own your own assets. I think that it's eventually going to work its way into music and into property and into, I see a point in time in the future where your ownership of your car, okay, or your bike or whatever it happens to be, your license, your ID, all of that exists on a distributed ledger, and makes it possible for to verify ownership of whatever it is that you'd like to verify ownership of. I think that you're going to see more blockchain based. Eventually, there'll be a blockchain based social platform that people actually dig into. There's a lot of different things. I think it's eventually going to be in just about every area.
it was indeed great to hear from you, and like your experiences have really helped the audience gain valuable insights. And as we are nearing the end of our session, like I would like to ask you one final question, like before we
Sure.
conclude. What is your final message to the members of our audience who are looking forward to explore into this vast field of blockchain and its variants?
Just jump into it. Like, just get into it right now. Like, if you've been sitting around waiting for the perfect opportunity, don't. Just try something, build something, fork a project on GitHub, figure out how to just deploy it to, Brink or something like that. Just get in and actually start monkeying around with it. That's how you are going to learn. And become an active part of the community. Connect on Twitter. You guys feel free to follow me at Bitbender Brink, and reach out. Just jump into communities. This is not an industry or a thing that has been built by people who were timid. So don't be afraid to jump in and be your best self and be awesome.
So,
And also join our Discord at galagames.chat. I'm in there a lot if you want to chat.
so like in simple terms, basically, like without procrastinating, we should like really jump into the like field and just start exploring like in whatever terms we can contribute, right?
Yes, exactly.
And I don't think we have much time left for today. So, like before concluding, I'd like to thank you for making time for the talk. And it was really
Thank
great
you.
to have you here and know about your experiences.
It
And
is a
to
pleasure to
all,
be here.
yeah, thank you. To all those watching, like do check out Gala Games, and their website link is provided in the chat and description below. And I would also like to thank everyone for joining our session. We hope that you enjoyed today's Dev Talks. And until next time, may the source be with you.
Thanks, guys.